Hello there everybody, it is me XfreezerBunny and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So today we're going back to my roots because we are building another Parisian apartment. Now this one's a little bit different because it is on a rooftop. Basically this whole apartment is on the roof of this Haussmannian style building. For those of you guys who don't know what that is, Haussmannian style is basically a style of architecture that is synonymous with the city of Paris. In the end, the apartment ended up being a little bit more modern / industrial, but for the exterior, I did try to go for that iconic Parisian look. So basically this is just a studio / loft. It's fully furnished for a single sim. It pretty much takes up the entire 4th floor of this building / rooftop. It's got one bathroom and a very spacious balcony as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and share a little bit of history for those of you guys who may not know about this. But one of the very first hits on the channel was when I built the Parisian apartment 5 years ago for The Sims 3. I can't believe it's been that long, but doing this definitely took me back to the time when I used to do a lot more builds in this style. I definitely felt like it was high time I did another Parisian apartment for The Sims 4 because we have all of these new tools and building in The Sims 4 is very different from The Sims 3. It feels completely different. But you know, through the years I've really enjoyed building apartments. I know for a fact that a lot of you also really enjoyed watching me do apartments because some of the most popular builds on the channel are apartments. The thing is, with apartments in The Sims 4, I just find it so frustrating because the apartment system that came with city living is just very frustrating. It's just so limiting. Basically, you're stuck with working with whatever EA has pre-made for you, and there's very little in the way of customizability. And I just find that very frustrating, which is why most of the apartments I do in The Sims 4 are just basically houses disguised as apartments. I've been building apartments even before city living came out, and all of them are just basically houses that are just disguised as apartments, and this is one of them. That being said, I'm still having a lot of fun. I know that a lot of you guys are also having fun as well. Playing in this will definitely involve a degree of role playing, but you know, who doesn't like a little bit of role playing, right? But yeah, let's get back to talking about the build. Actually, before that, I'm just gonna go ahead and let you guys know I'm recording this on my laptop. Earlier tonight, I'm recording this on Saturday night, and literally my neighbors upstairs are having a party, so I had to move my setup. I'm literally sat on my bed, and yeah, usually I record on my PC, but this time I'm on my laptop because I just really want this audio to be better quality, and I hopefully wouldn't have to deal with the noise that my neighbors upstairs are making right now. Also, I'm surrounded by pillows, so hopefully the audio quality is a little bit better than my usual quality, even though, to be honest, my audio quality is very inconsistent. Sometimes I'm sick or have very bad like voice problems or whatever, or sometimes it's just the software or like the equipment that I have, so it is what it is. Hopefully you guys will still enjoy this audio at the end of the day. As long as you can hear me properly, as long as you can understand what I'm saying, then that is good for me. But anyway, let's get back to actually talking about this build. This whole property is actually composed of 3 different buildings. We have our main apartment, which is where our studio is located. We have this corner apartment, which in my mind is a little bit more of a luxurious, like high-end apartment. You'll see that once we have decorated the exterior of this building. And then in the middle we have a little arch archway passageway connecting both of them. That archway is actually going to be where the main entrance for our studio apartment is going to be, but we're not really going to dwell too much on this exterior because, believe it or not, it took me like 3 hours to furnish like everything just for the exterior. So yeah, I had to cut out a lot, but that being said, I'm really happy because I feel like I really nailed that whole Parisian look. It did involve a lot of just experimenting with different materials and with different combinations, but in the end I think it all came together really nicely, and I feel like it does really come off, you know, that Parisian vibe that I was going for. So yes, let's see, what should we talk about? You know what? One thing that really frustrates me is the apartment system in the Sims 4, and I really wish they had some sort of way where basically like it would charge you rent instead of charging you bills on like normal lots, because I think that would be a really good workaround on the apartment system we had in City Living, because I just find it very limiting not being able to create custom apartments. Another thing that I've also been posting about on Twitter is I really want this option to manually open doors. I really wish we had that command to open doors and have them stay open, because we already have the animations for having these open doors, right? Like, why can't we just open them if, you know, it's a nice day outside? I'm pretty sure the Sims would also enjoy, you know, fresh air and daylight, right? So I really wish we had that option. I'm not sure how difficult that would be to implement, but we already have all the animations anyway, so why not, right? Here I'm just finishing off the exterior by adding in some fake shop fronts, basically. So yeah, it's just like decorative, but I think it gives this whole area a lot more character in the end. I did build this in Windenburg, and right now we are in the plaza of Windenburg, which I think would be a perfect place for a Parisian style neighborhood, because it has all of these cobblestone streets. It is surrounded by mostly Tudor houses, but I do believe that in Paris there are some Tudor style houses, like these wooden timber frame houses. I think they're quite rare in Paris because a lot of the buildings in Paris were built during the 19th century. A lot of them are built in this classical style, but some of the older ones are in this like Tudor style. But yeah, we're moving on to the interior, and I'm not sure if you guys noticed this, but actually all of the outside facing doors and windows are actually open, and I definitely have this kind of French summer vibe for this build. I do know that Paris can get quite cold in some seasons, so in my mind this is definitely, you know, a nice summer's day in Paris. So I'm using the windows from Moschino, and I also did that custom like door technique by combining an arch with some single doors just to make them look like it's open into the balcony terrace area. Moving on to the interior, as I said earlier, I ended up with this more modern / industrial vibe. I did look at a lot of reference images of Parisian apartments, and I noticed that a lot of them are actually quite modern and contemporary, so that's the look that I was going for. Didn't have a sim in mind for this particular build. I just put in some generic items in there, and hopefully you'll be able to move in a sim regardless of what skill or profession they have. Though I did add a little bit of character by putting in this board for postcards. You will see me incorporate that a little bit later on. Also, I used this bed technique where I combined a bed and a chair, a love seat. The love seat is from Cats and Dogs, the bed is from Seasons. I don't think I've ever used that combination before, but I have this really nice black bed that looks really chic. I feel like it does look very Parisian, so I did try to incorporate some aspects of, like, you know, that whole chic Parisian vibe that you guys will see a little bit later on as well, because I did want this to have, you know, some sort of unique Parisian aspects. So here I am just incorporating these postcards. Whoever lives here definitely loves to travel. They can be an influencer, you know, maybe a stylist. I imagine like maybe like even a photographer or like a model would probably live here, or a student. Actually, I think a lot of like students, you know, going to university in Paris would probably live in a place like this as well, even though I do think this is like very like luxurious. Like in my mind this is like I don't know, maybe like middle class, like upper middle class, because you know when you think of like French luxury, it's literally like super luxurious, like there's all gold everywhere. This one's a little bit more downplayed, but it's still quite stylish in my own opinion. Oh, I found those like cute little feather like wall art, and I put some of them on one of the walls we had in the dining area. And this is what I was talking about, incorporating like more Frenchness to the design. I put in some wine glasses on that shelf from Laundry Day, and I felt like that just gave this place a lot more character. We all know that the French are known for their wine, for their love of wine, and also for their producing some of the best wines in the world, so I really wanted that. I also put this apple basket. Originally I put like a lavender in that basket, but I just went for like some apples instead because I felt like that looked very French for some strange reason. Like overall, I went for a very modern look for the interior, but I did want to incorporate some, you know, like traditional elements. It's very understated, but there are some if you look closely and pay attention. And you know, we have that beam which runs through the main living area, which I felt like is a very rustic touch. And I also incorporated this Art Nouveau bathroom tile. It's the tiles that came with Realm of Magic, and I thought that that was a really nice touch to kind of tie in that whole historical / modern vibe that I was going for. The bathroom is a little bit of a tight squeeze because I had to fit in like a dishwasher, and no, it's not a dishwasher, I'm sorry, it's a laundry, oh my gosh, why can't I remember, like it's a dryer and a washing machine, there we go. Yeah, and then I think that's pretty much it for the interior. All that's left to do is just furnishing this balcony, which I just really love. I really love this like laid back, like chill spot. I really wanted to fit in like a grill in here, but unfortunately there really wasn't any space, so I just put in a bunch of plants to make it look very like gardeny. I did see a lot of like French balconies having a lot of you know, potted plants, so I just put in a bunch in there. You know, if you like to have, you know, like dinner outside, maybe like a candlelit dinner, you can go ahead and sit in that dining table right there. I don't know why, but for some reason I'm thinking of that scene from Lady and the Tramp, you know, where they eat spaghetti and then they're serenaded by this, you know, chef that sings the song Bella Notte. I really love that scene actually. Anyway, so yeah, we're just changing some parts of this like hallway area. I was rummaging through a lot of my old files. Remember when the time I used to do a lot of like French builds? I have like a bunch of like files. I had like a bunch of floor plans actually that I found as I was rummaging, and I noticed that a lot of the staircases for like apartment buildings like these were like really tiny and narrow, so I just decided to go for that. Also using the new configurable stairs option as well. I did try to fit in an elevator in here. Elevators are just so frustrating to work with. I think they're obsolete in The Sims 4 now because you can only place one elevator in each building, which I don't think really makes sense, because how are the Sims supposed to go from one floor to the next if you can only have one elevator? Like, EA, please do something about that. But you know what, it is what it is, and I'm just glad that we have configurable stairs now. But yeah, moving on to the outside, we are just decorating the outside area of this build. I tried to match it with this area in Windenburg, so I put that cobblestone pavement that we got with Realm of Magic, and also the same trees and plants that we have around this area of Windenburg as well. I incorporated in the outside. I made these custom like fences that surround these plants because I just couldn't fit them in the tree guards that we have in debug, so I just made my own and put them in like a room and just copied and paste them. Over here at the back, I did make this into like a parking lot because normally this would have been like the courtyard area for like buildings like this in Paris, but obviously there's really no space for a courtyard, so I just made it like a little parking area as well because this area was the one facing the road anyway. And finally, we are just putting in some outdoor street lamps. I found these beautiful street lamps in debug and they give off this beautiful like warm light, and it just made this whole build look stunning at night. But I think that's actually going to be it for this build, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it all up right here. Hopefully you guys feel free to share this video if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe if you think I deserve it. But other than that, hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you so much for watching. You all have an awesome day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.